Welcome back, HARBRO freighters. Quality videos, lowest prices. And today we have more of a roundup. There's a lot of deals going on. There's always deals going on. End of the parking lot sale. ITC is coming into end in a few days. Super coupons just released and instant savings and dollar days. So this will be a condensed list of the best deals going on right now for things that I recommend with really good discounts. Anyways, if you find this useful, please consider liking and subscribing. Consider becoming a member and be member number 2, joining the other person who became a member by accident. But here we go. Pittsburgh Pry Bar Set. This is actually, I'm going to do a couple of my first couple will be from the parking lot sale. So that you would have to go out today. If you're going out there today, that is when this will be available, but not after today. So this is 41% off, $9.98, was $17. And it's a Pittsburgh Pry Bar Set, nothing special. But the special thing about things that aren't special is that it doesn't matter if they break or not. And it's a good price. If you don't have a good pry bar set already, if you don't have a pry bar set at all, this 8-inch, 12-inch, 18-inch, and 12-inch crowbars are going to come in super handy. You need a set of pry bars. If you don't have one for less than $10, especially 41% off, a good place to get started. Or a place to get started if you have an old Gringy pry bar set. Anyways, next, McGra 20-gallon, 135 PSI oil lube vertical shop auto air compressor. It's $200. It's $50 off. So that's 20% off of this McGra air compressor. And that's roughly as good as the deals get when the sales come out for McGra compressors. Roughly about 20%, maybe a little bit higher. But from what I recall, it's about 20%. And that's where this is at. So this is also just for the parking lot sale, which you would have to go out today. But if you're looking for a air compressor, 20-gallon, one of the vertical ones, this is a good deal to not pass up on. Next, going into our regular deals. This is a more recent one. This one ends July 2nd. This is the new batch of super coupons. This is the Pittsburgh's Mechanics Stethoscope. $4, normally $8.50. So not a big ticket item, but still when something's over 50% off, it's a little bit more particular of an item. This is a good time to pick it up. Why spend close to $10 when you can spend a lot closer to $4? So save over 52% off. Well, save 52%. So it's over half off. So a good time to pick something up like this Pittsburgh Mechanics Stethoscope. Next, the Pittsburgh Pro 1/4-inch drive SAE colored coated deep socket set. They had a separate socket set on the last dollar days, and now they're giving you the color-coded deep socket set. So it's $8, normally $12. So not huge numbers savings, but still 33% off. Solid discount on both the SAE or the metric. Next, this is for the ITC going through the 26th. So you still have a few days. This is the US General 4-tier shelf, the 23-inch by 12-inch by 52-inch shelf. So a decent sized shelf. And it's normally $29.99, but it's $19.99. So $10 whole off for some storage, 33% off. So this is, I think maybe I should call this the sleeper deals. 33% off of storage like this it feels invaluable, and especially for US General. Holds up to 176 pounds worth of items. Tough polypropylene construction, 14.5-inch between shelves, won't dent or rust. I mean, for $20, 33% off normally, great deal. You still got a few days to get this one. Next, folding camping table blue. 4th of July is right around the corner. Barbecue season's going on. Normally $28, also down 28%, down to $19.99. So this is the season, easily stored. And it's just one of those things that sometimes when you're out there, assuming you have your lawn chair, it'd be really nice to have an equivalent type of table to just put things on. Because if not, you're trying to put everything in the armrests. I'm sure you've been there, in the armrests of your chair. And you lose things, you drop things. And for $20, 28% off, this is the time to get something like this. So sleeper deal here for this folding camping table. Also available in green. Maybe play a little bit of cards, a little bit of Texas Hold'em. Next, Hallmaster 6,000 pound capacity, 2-inch by 30-foot recovery strap. Be the person who has the proper recovery strap to help somebody out. Normally $18, but it's 27% off for $13. It's the Hallmaster 6,000 pound capacity. So pretty good capacity, pretty good reach. 30 feet by 2-inch recovery strap. So $12.99, 27% off. It's a recovery strap. Good specifications and easily stored. Next, for all the people who got your wrenches, here's the US General 15 slot wrench organizer. It's normally $7. Nothing crazy. And look, they have Quinn in here. Whoa. Shots fired. Normally $7, so not a huge savings, but for $5, 28% off, you can get some organization for all those wrenches that you just purchased. And look, they show clearly it's able to be hung in your shop, or if you do have it in your toolbox, to give you an example here of how you can store it and how it makes them pretty clear to be able to grab the right wrenches. So 28% off there. Then we have this instant savings, the Pittsburgh Comfort Grip screwdriver set. Now these do go through 8/14, so you have some time on this one. But this is a 70 piece, and it has almost everything you need, from the stubbies to medium to larger screwdriver sets. It even has a couple of picks in here, which is super convenient. And it has these hard to reach, narrow precision screwdriver bits with some little bit of everything. There's a little bit of everything. So for $22.99, 23% off, normally $30, really good deal. If you just need a variety of screwdrivers, that's gonna cover your home or shop. And the best thing, it comes with storage that's easily placed somewhere. So good deal, good find here. Next, speaking of wrenches, this is the Pittsburgh metric ratcheting combination wrench set. Goes through the 14th of August, $20, 31% off. So if you're not trying to invest in the Icon, which you have just today to do, and you want something a little bit more reasonable that might skip a number here or there, let's see, 17, 15, 14, yeah, it's skipping, then Pittsburgh's not a bad way to go. But you can still work in tight areas with the ratcheting combination wrench set. So $20, 31% off. So almost $10 savings there. Really good deal. And then same thing for metric and SAE. And then for ITC, the Icon 2100 lumen LED rechargeable magnetic 77-inch extendable underhood floodlight. Normally $90, but it's 22% off. 22% off. You get it for $69.99. So again, really good deal here on some under the hood or working anywhere. Really under the hood or wherever you can hang this light. So 22% off. Good deal for Icon. And then we have this Daytona 350-pound capacity premium adjustable headrest creeper in, of course, creeper green. 4-position headrest can be adjusted with one hand, which is pretty nice. Really nice. You don't see that necessarily. Normally $85, but it's 23% off, down to $65. So you could, really good deal on this creeper from Daytona. So something to look out for if you're looking for a creeper. Expires the 26th. Then a little bit more specific, we have this Pittsburgh bearing separator and puller set. And it does what it says. It separates and pulls bearings. $54.99, 27% off for $40. So good time to pull the trigger on something like this if you're doing these types of jobs or doing this type of work. Next, we have the Bauer 6.3 amp half-inch variable speed drill. $44.99, normally 33% off. So it's $29.99. Save $15 on this heavy-duty 6.3 amp variable speed drill from Bauer. You could do a lot worse for $30. That's, I would say, an excellent deal. And let's see what they show it. Drilling in wood, drilling through metal steps. So anyways, Bauer, $29.99. Next, we have the Central Machinery Universal Bench Grinder Stand. Normally $50, but it's 40% off for $29.99. And it seems very specific, but if you have a bench grinder and you need a real place for it, 40% off. This is the time to do it. I can't imagine this goes on sale that often. And for 40%, this would be the time to get this stand. And then I know we touched on this one a bit ago, but it's the Gordon 20-in-1 multi-tool. Not the biggest percentage off, but normally not too many percentages off on these unless you're waiting specifically for the 15 to 20% off any single item. which do happen here and there, but it is 12% off going through the 26th. 12% off. You could hang tight, but for something that I rarely see go on sale, this is why it's on here. Save $6, about $5 for an all intents and purposes, an excellent clone and an excellent 20-in-1 multi-tool. Next, another recovery snatch strap. This is the Badland 6,600 pound capacity, 2-inch by 20 foot recovery snatch. This is normally $40, but it's 25% off. Looks a lot nicer than that Hallmaster, but 25% off. $10 off of $40, so you get it for $30. And again, this is just to have just in case, but a good time to get these at 25% off. Good deal here. Then we have this Pittsburgh compression test kit, 8-piece, $35 normally, but it's 42% off, $19.99. Again, very specific for if you're doing some engine work, testing compression. Excellent discount on this Pittsburgh compression kit. Then we have the Braun 500 lumen LED rechargeable magnetic handheld foldable slim bar light. Now these are super convenient, either this one or the Icon, but this one of course is now 20% off. Save about $6. Normally 30, get it for 24. But of all the places you can do it, I mean, this is not the best example of how you'd set it up, because I mean, I'm sure the magnet it's being worked, but oh, here we go. This is better. Where you're able to just set it up out of the way, connect it to something that's magnetic, and shine light as opposed to using a flashlight. These are super convenient. Saves you such a headache for if you're doing work in an area that's not so well lit. Just the way you're able to maneuver and place this light essentially anywhere. And good examples here in the pictures that they have. 20% off of this Braun light. I've read really good things about it. At 20% off, really good deal. And then one of the classic ones, the Daytona 3-ton heavy-duty ratcheting jack stands, metallic purple. Everybody needs some. If you don't have them, 40% off is almost as close as the best deal you're going to find on these. They do go maybe a few dollars less, but at $29.99, it wouldn't be a bad deal to get them at this price. 40% off, excellent. Available in your choice of color. But if it were me, I'd get the metallic purple. Make sure the specs match, even if the SKUs match. Just make sure the specs match if you're a little bit OCD, and if you're buying a couple different sets or expect to buy different set in the future, and if you want your jack stands to match. $29.99, great deal there. And then last but not least, 33% off the Harbor Freight 5-gallon bucket lid. And correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think they ever have given this away. I might be wrong. Of course, they give away the bucket. And normally, if you're part of ITC, you can buy the lid to get your free bucket. But here we have the lid at 33% off. Excellent discount, save $1 and lid your bucket. Anyways, I'll leave it at that. Hopefully, again, you find this useful. Please consider liking and subscribing. And as soon as I find some more deals, I will send them your way.